Have you ever run a Pmax campaign and felt like it was doing sort of something, but not quite what you wanted? Well, this could be a Pmax issue, but usually it isn't. It's more than likely going to be a product feed problem because Pmax doesn't optimize based on just your account structure. It optimizes based on signals it knows it can actually trust. And in e-commerce, the strongest signal Pmax gets comes from the product feed. So let me explain why having a near perfect product feed should be your number one priority. But before we delve too deep into it, we need to know what Pmax uses as its primary signal source. Well, it doesn't start with keywords, that's for certain. It starts with your product data. Product attributes are used to determine ad eligibility, relevance, and matching across search, shopping, display, YouTube, and demand gen. So that means things like product titles, descriptions, categories, pricing, availability, brand identifiers like your GTINs and MPNs. All of them need to be on point, as Pmax clusters products based on this info and then tests where the demand exists. And where does it get this info from? You guessed it, the product feed. If the feed's weak or unclear, Pmax can't confidently match products to the intent. So instead of pushing your ads into high intent auctions, it defaults to broader traffic where the signals are cheaper but inevitably weaker. So why does Pmax struggle to learn without clear product context? Well, Pmax relies on pattern recognition. It looks for consistency between a product, the type of user interacting with it, and the likelihood of a conversion. So when feed data's vague with generic titles, missing attributes, broad categories, all Pmax sees is uncertainty. Now, Google has publicly come out and told everyone that their automation systems perform best when given rich, structured, and consistent inputs. So that's what you've got to give it, as without it, although Pmax will still go through the motions and learning will continue, it will be a mega slow pace and everything's going to be considered too vague for it to confidently hang its hat on. Slow learning means less aggressive bidding, fewer high value auctions, and limited scale. And this is why some Pmax campaigns never move past OK. In order to improve the feed, what we need to know is how Pmax decides which products get prioritized. So, when Pmax launches, it doesn't look at your catalog and try and be fair. It looks for certainty and prioritizes products where it can confidently predict the outcome. And that confidence comes from three very specific feed signals. Number one, relevance. Are your product titles, your descriptions, your categories, brand, and GTNs good enough to match real buyer searches? Open your product feed and sort it by impressions. Now, if a product gets very low impressions, it's usually because the title and category are too vague. So fix that by rewriting titles so they describe exactly what the product is, not just its name, and get as many attributes in it as possible. Use the most specific Google product category available and not just the parent category. Check the description below and I'll pop a link in there of all the Google categories. Now, make sure the brand and GTINs are present wherever they exist. And all of these will increase the number of auctions that your products are eligible for. Next one, conversion history. Products with early conversions get more spend because Google's looking for easy wins, whereas products without signals tend to get ignored. And most people at this point start messing with the product data. Instead, what you should be doing is forcing Pmax to collect clean conversion data across more products early on. And to do that, what you don't do is pause low volume products too early on. Hold your nerve, give Google a chance to sort itself out. Avoid changing pricing or availability whilst you're in the learning phase, and try and get everything right up front so you can confidently leave it whilst it's officially learning. Now, before whacking publish, check everything again. After a decent learning phase, if products still aren't getting any love, feel free to pause products or move them into a campaign of their own to see if you can inject some life into them. Lastly, and it may sound like an obvious one, but price. If your feed's got higher prices than your competitors, then your visibility will be reduced because users are less likely to convert. It's as simple as that. Now, you don't always have to be the cheapest, it does help, but you do need to be in the mix to get the most exposure. So go and have a look at Google's sale price suggestions for a steer on what it's thinking when it comes to price. Hi, I'm Mark Farrell, the owner of Rocket Reach PPC, and we're a specialist e-commerce agency that helps clients grow revenue through our commission-only Google Ads services. Google Ads that run independently and can be run alongside your current PPC provider, but still inside your account. No interruption to normal service. If you're interested in making more money on a commission-only basis and want to find out how, all you've got to do is head on over to www.rocketreachppc.com and click the video button for more info. Or, if you're already sold on the idea of commission only, why not see if you qualify to work with us straight away? To do this, just hit the Do I Qualify button on the homepage and let's get started. So, feed stability matters more than people think. Once you're happy with your feed data, do your best to just let it run. Now, I'm not saying you can't touch anything once it's sorted, as things change. But as with actual campaigns, if you're constantly messing around with a feed, it messes up Google's certainty algorithm. If pricing is jumping around a lot, or if products move in and out of stock, or attributes change without consistency, Pmax is forced to keep relearning. Pmax is in a constant state of testing after its official learning phase, but if you are constantly messing with it, it will kick it into a full-on learning phase. And what that does is resets any optimization momentum that you might have already gained. A stable, accurate feed allows Pmax to build reliable models over time. And that's when Performance Max compounds instead of resetting every few weeks. It's inevitable, I know, that things change, so my advice would be to make sure products with decent stock levels go up in the feed, and those that are low in quantity are either left out or put in less important campaigns. And as for price, well, if there's any changes, try and minimize them, or at least keep them so that you do them all at once rather than every day. And just like you can't outrun a bad diet, you can't have a good feed with bad data. Performance Max can't make up for poor product data because that data is literally how Google understands your products. Pmax isn't like a search campaign where you can write good keywords and Google fills in the gaps. For e-commerce, the product feed is literally the primary signal Google uses to automate everything. Which searches your ads can appear for, which audiences you're relevant to, and where your ads show across Google's channels. So, before you even get to the feed, focus on the data behind it. Hit your products and bulk them out so that when you produce your feed, it's going to be jam-packed with information that Google can confidently use. To wrap everything up, if Pmax isn't scaling, isn't stable, or feels unpredictable, and you feel all your campaign settings are on point, then the fix will usually lie with the product feed. Pmax can only optimize around the signals that it's given, and the product feed is the strongest signal source that it's got. Strengthen that, and Pmax has something real to work with. If this video has helped you in any way, then please do me a massive favor and hit the like button and be sure to subscribe as well. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.